Corpus Christi is part of the cradle of naval aviation, but ultimately being able to get in front of the city who does so much to host the Blue Angels and host the Navy there in their town is something that I feel very privileged to do, and really hoping to be able to get out there tomorrow and put on a good demo for them. Our standard air show template for most shows that are within about 800 miles or so are going to be to arrive on Thursday. So we will launch out of Pensacola anywhere between 7:30 and 8:30 on Thursday morning to arrive at our show site for that weekend at 10 o'clock in the morning. Of course, here for Corpus Christi it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge for the weekend. We arrived on Thursday with some pretty low clouds, so we were able to do an entire Delta, or the six plane Blue Angel formation. We did a Delta ILS final here to Corpus Christi, which was our first one as the 2020 team, but that is what ultimately got us through the clouds and then landed safely here.
Every day, we give the college try. We got comm cards set up and we got ready. We were briefed up and get ready to fly for circles, and we walked out there and the ceiling wasn't great. Usually we launch out the Diamond and just Boss and Deuce took off, and they flew for probably about 5 minutes and assessed. The clouds were at 300 feet. And just as on a safety aspect of it, that's not workable. And they have to have their minimums and also be able to see what they're looking at for their checkpoints. If they can't see because they're looking through clouds, it's just not a safe thing to do. So they went to land, and we were hoping the weather would push out, but at 5 o'clock, that's when our time ran out for the day, so we had just to reset, and of course, right at 5 o'clock, I think the weather broke and the sky was clear, but that's the nature of our business, so we had to just reset for the next day.
Today in particular is a pretty long day. Generally, I like to start my day off with a workout. This morning, I woke up around 5. Got ready, drank a cup of coffee, and then just went to the gym before I even knew where I was, If you don't knock out the workout first thing in the morning, chances are you're going to get caught up with something later on the day. You're just not going to have the time to work out. And I need to work out to get my mind right. It just helps center me before I, start my busy schedule.
I was just listening to this song.
I'll work out for about an hour, come back, and then kind of just glance at the schedule again, make sure nothing's changed, and see where do I need to be next.
I'm short and sweet to the point with this kind of stuff. So I don't like to be very rigid and okay, now we will talk about this, Just be yourself.
We had a Zoom call with a bunch of high school students, and really that's our opportunity to kind of explain what it is we do and who the Blue Angels are, what our mission is. You kind of have your own leeway to what do you want to tell them as a Blue Angel and as a pilot, and your story, what are some things you learned, or what are some things you still apply, what are some things you're still learning.
Whatever it is your passion is and whatever it is you choose to do in life, and if you're at a point where you're really not sure what you want to do in life, that's completely normal. A lot of us here had no idea or could have never guessed that we'd be sitting in this chair right now as a Blue Angel. So.
And then also to open it up to question and answers, and it's pretty cool. You get some interesting questions sometimes.
That's a good question.
That is a fantastic question. So in the jet, if I'm going up in the jet with the pilots, it's called a two-seater. So there are 2 seats. The pilot will be in the front cockpit and I will be in the back cockpit. That's a great question.
It's kind of like a bobsled.
Yeah, it is like a bobsled. It's very tiny in there, and I'm kind of a shorter, smaller person, and I feel kind of cramped, so I can't imagine how these big guys feel.
Nothing will ever replace the face-to-face stuff. Personally, I'm definitely like the face-to-face more, and the more personal exchange, but it is what it is, and that's what we're doing to move forward. Today in particular, we're working with the Leapfrogs, the U.S. Navy parachute demonstration team. So this would be the first in a long time I think we've worked with them. Communication's a huge piece, so I got to talk to the Leapfrogs, I got to talk to our OPSO, I got to talk to the 7 pilot and make sure they're all on the same page with exactly where we're going to be and when, talking to Airboss, CommCard, making sure they're all on the same page.
Started out, the mission today is going to be Halo, military freefall, key air crew. I'll be the aircraft commander, and then you've got Jackson in the right seat. You'll be running the checklist.
The next phase would be to actually brief the plan with the leapfrogs. We'll do the jump, conduct the jumps to the leapfrogs, land, and then start prepping for our circles and demonstration maneuvering. I love every second of it, and it's a pretty cool, every day you kind of have to just relive that day, like, oh, what did I do today? You know, you put your head on a pillow and you're just like, I'm pretty lucky, you know, pretty cool to have this opportunity and all the experiences you had, the exchanges you had with people that you hadn't met before. That's the best part, I think. It's pretty neat.
Yesterday was unique in that we did not complete circles on Thursday. So we came in, we take a look at the weather, we briefed our circle maneuvers, and then we knew we'd fly our demo or our demo practice in the afternoon, but unfortunately we're not able to do a demo until we circle. So we waited all day long to find a break in the weather, and ultimately we're not able to find a safe spot to do that.
Hey y'all, I'm Jordan Walls, I'm from Dallas, Texas. The weather right now, it's kind of delaying our flight today, and we just want to really get out there and put on a demonstration. And wow.
The sailors and Marines, you know, the maintenance team, they went in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they would go out there and say, all right, there's a possible break. So we go out and we'd open up the jets and get everything ready, then to only say, nope, we're gonna slide. So they would close back up because there's a rain showers pushing in or the visibility wasn't great. And just, we can continue to be ready to go, and they were ready to go. That's the one thing about this group, is they're a very passionate group and they want to fly. And not just the pilots, but the maintainers and the team in general want to fly.
Part of the training, not only as Blue Angels, but also as naval aviators and aviators at large, are, there are times when the operational requirement will make you or force you to push the weather. And that will generally happen, if there is a need to go fly in combat or something like that. But, we generally or always uphold the safety standards when it comes to weather here, and try not to push a situation just to get everyone.
Saturday was definitely more eventful. Again, same thing. Unfortunately, kind of saw the writing on the wall. Like, okay, we're gonna get out there. We're gonna show up the field at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna get these jets ready to go, as we do in typical Blue Angel fashion. They were ready to go.
So we trust our maintenance department through and through. We are obviously very close with our crew chiefs as the pilots, but also we have good relationships with all of the different maintenance shops, because they are the ones who prepare our airplanes for our air shows, and we just trust in them wholeheartedly to make sure the jet is up and ready to go.
We come in every morning, we make sure that the planes are turned and making sure they're functioning properly. We do this every day, doesn't matter if it's raining or whatnot, whatever the weather's doing, we're gonna make sure that the pilot has the #1 product. Right now, we're just waiting for the weather to clear up, and we'll continue on with our plan of the day.
Saturdays are demo days, so they are always a blast, always fun. Today is a little bit of a different day just due to the weather, but we'll spend the mornings, we'll probably have some breakfast. Generally, we'll all go to the gym and make sure we get a good workout in as part of our training program. And then we'll push to the airfield from which we fly about an hour and a half to 2 hours prior to the brief. 15 to 20 minutes prior, like, that is our time, so it's focus time. We'll sit down, we'll go over our lines, we'll get our minds right, we'll think about how the weather is going to affect our flying, think about any hazards for the day. We'll chair fly some maneuvers prior to the brief to make sure we're 100% ready to go. Today, same as yesterday, we're going to try and get circles out at some point, but if the weather just keeps rolling through the way it does, we're just at the mercy of the environmentals, unfortunately.
Luckily enough, we caught a little bit of a break right close to the end of everything, and we were able to get Boss and Rocket out for somewhat of a modified circles, but it just, I don't think, they didn't get everything they wanted, and then especially since the 3 and 4 pilots didn't get to go, so just Boss and Deuce going by himself. We always try to have a spare on our flight line, and we have the crew that's sitting in the plane getting ready for the plane to go. So Baxter actually had He taxied to get ready to take off, and then he didn't have any communication, so he couldn't talk to anybody. So he was able to communicate with our crew, our maintenance crew, who are troubleshooters in the runway truck that always go to the end of the flight line, either with Boss or with Baxter, and they were able to say, hey, I can't talk to anybody. Baxter taxied back to the line, and he, as he was getting unstrapped and jumped out, the crew chief, or our 7 geek, had the jet that he was jumping into start up. So he ran from one side of the flight line, sprinted across to jump in the jet, and it, I believe what I saw was about 4 minutes and 58 seconds to get him from the time he got out to get him into a new jet and to taxi out. So it's great training for us. It's not something that we want to do, but it's something that keeps the demo going. So it's a very seamless thing. So people hopefully won't know that a plane fell out. They just know that now there's 3 planes versus 4, and then now there's 4 planes again. But Baxter took off and he flew around for maybe about 10 minutes, and the rain just kept on coming. And it got to the point where we lost our visibility, and it just wasn't safe. We just had to knock it off. And he went back, and we got it and reset for today.
Although it's the last day of the show, we'll try to get out and do circles in the morning, diamond followed by solos. We'll come back, we'll debrief that thoroughly, and then rebrief for our flight demonstration. We can do that in the morning and then fly hopefully a good demo over Corpus Christi. It is so much more than flying blue jets. It's representing the Navy, representing the Marine Corps, representing our country to those air show sites and to really the world who might not otherwise even know what naval aviation is.
Can't stop me now.
Part of the Blue Angel ethos is to kind of inspire this culture of excellence, and whether the youth or anybody that we get to reach out to wants to be a military pilot or be a doctor or a lawyer or anything, our job now is to be able to get in front of them and show that culture of excellence, show what it takes, and it just takes hard work.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now.
If you've got a goal in mind and you put your mind to it, anybody can do anything they want. And that is something that I have really come to understand here and understand is the biggest impact that we have as a team. Having seen a bunch of show sites, having seen the communities, being able to have an impact on anybody out there is something that I never take lightly, and know that if we are able to affect the lives of just one person, then the whole thing is worth it.